Fitness trainers spend so much time taking care of other people that sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. But if you're constantly feeling sore, if you're feeling mentally burned out, and that you're losing your passion for coaching, then you may be on the verge of burnout. Well, today we're going to chat about some practical recovery strategies that can help you become your best self, elevate your coaching, and allow you to have a healthy, long career. When you think about it, fitness professionals have really unconventional hours. It's not your typical 9 to 5 job. We're most likely teaching multiple classes in a row and multiple times per week, especially if this is our full time job. That not only takes physical effort, but it takes mental and emotional as you're trying to be your best self for your class and your participants while also caring for those around you. So, recovery isn't a luxury, it's a necessity to become a better coach and a healthy individual. So, let's take a look at what burnout actually looks like. To recognize burnout, we must know that there are three different types. There's physical, mental, and emotional. Let's take a look at physical first. When dealing with physical burnout, you're going to feel constantly fatigued. You're going to feel constantly sore as well, and maybe experience injuries way more commonly. Your sleep schedule is going to be erratic and you're constantly going to feel fatigued, even maybe showing up to a class exhausted. Now, for the mental burnout side, you're going to feel stress and feel constantly overwhelmed. You may have a lack of motivation and you may have trouble staying engaged in classes that you once loved. So, when that dread starts to creep in, that is a big warning sign that, hey, I think something is up. I think I may be overdoing it. And finally, for emotional burnout, you're going to just feel maybe a disconnect from the participants that you once loved to be around. Maybe you'll be more irritable and just, a little less enthusiastic about what your passion truly is. All three of these rarely happen overnight. Physical, mental, and emotional burnout gradually occur, and it is so necessary to understand the warning signs. So, now let's move on to prioritizing our own recovery. Number one is sleep. We should all be receiving 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. 9 hours of sleep seems pretty nice, but it is a little less attainable. Definitely shoot for 7. Establish that bedtime routine and that constant wake up routine so your body can develop that circadian rhythm. And before bed, you want to reduce that screen time so that way melatonin can properly be produced. These are all critical. And when we sleep, that is when our body has time to recover. So if you don't take that time to get those 7 to 9 hours, your body won't properly recover. And another recovery strategy is nutrition. Now, maybe I'm a little biased, but nutrition is so critical. What you take in, your energy intake, it needs to match your energy expenditure. If you're taking in less calories than your body actually needs in a state when your body's in crisis, well, there's going to be inflammation and your body is just not going to be able to maintain homeostasis, and that causes a litany of problems. You want to focus on a balanced diet, lots of colors, carbohydrates, those complex carbohydrates, whole grains, protein, good sources of protein, and fats. Carbohydrates are not a bad guy here. They take up 45 to 65% of your daily caloric intake, so do not forget about them. And protein helps your muscles recover, while fats allow for hormone production and to protect our joints. On top of nutrition is hydration. We cannot forget to drink water. Our body needs it, and we can't live without it. So, when in doubt, take a couple sips of water and stay hydrated, eat well, eat balanced, and those are going to help you recover tremendously. So, sleep and food are important, but moving a little bit can be part of recovery too. And this is called active recovery. This can look like walking, maybe using a cross training day like biking or the elliptical if you're a runner. It can look like taking a yoga class, doing a mobility class, just stretching. These are all so important for the body because we can't constantly keep going at 110%. We have to take some time to recover and focus on what we need, a good balance. And remember, recovery supports performance. It's not going to diminish it. We all need a couple recovery days. You may be wondering, how can I train smarter and not harder? Well, let's take a look at what a lot of trainers tend to do. They tend to demonstrate every single repetition that's required during the intro phase of the class. They tend to work out during the class, which is necessary in some classes, but possibly they could take some time to walk around the class instead. And they just don't truly recover. So, what are ways that you can adjust these common habits and recover better, take care of ourselves better? One of the tactics is to coach more than you demonstrate. And don't be afraid to, grab a regular and have them demonstrate for you when appropriate, of course. It's not appropriate in every situation, but sometimes they may be willing to help, or you just need a day to just take it easier. And so you recruit a couple of your participants. Also, not every training session has to be super high intensity, max heart rate. Save those for planned training days based on the periodization schedule that you set up. Always remember, your body is your career, so you must take care of it. We've looked at recovery, we looked at training smarter and not harder. Now, how do we build our schedules appropriately to care for ourselves? Well, one of the most obvious things to do is not to schedule so many classes consecutively back to back. You may be used to teaching 4 classes per day, maybe 3 or 4 times per week. Well, if that's what you're used to, don't add any more. Your body needs that time off, so don't feel the pressure to always say yes. Be willing to say no and build in those rest days. Take recovery days as well and recovery sessions. Maybe include that in one of your classes so that you're also encouraging this to your participants so they don't face burnout. Plan vacations and just live life. As cliche as that sounds, you know, sure, we want to work, we want to share our passions with others, but we also need to take care of ourselves. And that means taking those rest days, taking that time off while making the most of our job. I also want to take a look at some mental recovery strategies because training and coaching isn't always physical. The mind takes a heavy burden. While you may be coaching a lot inside or in a studio, take some time outside. Walking outside is so important for the body and has vast amount of benefits, from allowing all the systems to integrate together, increase the function of the cardiovascular system, clear your mind. It's so important and it's so overlooked. Take a couple minutes every day just to go walk outside. Do other things outside of the gym. I know I fall victim of this as well because I love the gym environment, but you need to get out of there. You need to go find other hobbies outside of working out or coaching. It can still be helping people, such as volunteering or spending time with family and friends, but you can't always stay in the gym. Practicing mindfulness and meditation is also really great for the mind as well. This can look like a yoga class, for example, or maybe you just take a couple minutes every day just to be in silence and pray or meditate and just, have that time alone to think. And also, on top of that, is not comparing yourself to others. While you may have that time to think every day, don't think about how somebody else is doing this compared to what you're doing. What you're doing is totally fine. It is even applauded on because you are amazing. And don't forget that. Everybody has their own coaching and training style. And that's why the fitness industry is so amazing. So stop comparing yourself and hold on to that confidence. So, with all this said and done, how do we build healthy, long careers in the fitness industry? Well, as you can probably guess, I'm going to say take care of yourself. That is number one. But we also see, diversifying your certifications. Like at IFTA, we have our two primary, but then we also have 11 other ones where you can stand out from the crowd or do something that you're really passionate about, like mat Pilates or cycle or kickboxing or becoming a nutrition coach. So many options. And that means receiving continuing education credits, expanding your network of people that you work with, and simply maintaining that passion for fitness. And that looks like not becoming burnt out and taking those days off when you need them so your passion can continue to grow. And I want to give an example with this. So I'm a big runner, but some days I get in this mental rut of, oh, I have to run again because I constantly run and it becomes part of my routine. But sometimes our routines become mundane and sometimes you need a couple days off. So that's what I do. If I find myself thinking of running as a negative aspect of my day, when normally it's something I look forward to, I'll take 2 or 3 days off. And when I come back, I feel stronger, I feel faster, I feel like I can control my breath more, and I enjoy running more. So don't be afraid or shy away from taking a couple of days off if you really need it. The support system in the fitness industry is monumental, and you will always have people by your side to help you. The best trainers aren't the busiest. They're the ones who are able to have a long, healthy, effective career. And this looks like listening to our bodies, preventing burnout by taking those recovery days. And this all directly impacts our interaction with our clients and our ability to coach. Remember, recovery is a part of performance, and as trainers, we can become so burnt out and overwhelmed just by how exciting our job is. But sometimes that excitement can take a turn, and we want to make sure that would put us into the fitness industry, our passion and love for it always remains.